Hey guys, Panda here, and today I'm going to be playing Pocket Graveyard, and let me read the description for you. Pocket Graveyard is an application to simulate being in a creepy graveyard at night. There's a huge dark forest surrounding the graveyard, and all the gates are locked. You're in this thing for as long as you can handle. Weird things start to happen after a while. Don't stay too long. So, as a person who, don't judge me, likes being in graveyards at night. I used to go hang out at graveyards with my friends all the time. We would just be like bored in the middle of the night and be like, yeah, let's go to a graveyard. But that kind of goes with like anything abandoned. I just like abandonedness, like not in like the way that usually goes with like being left behind by somebody, but just going to an abandoned place. Like I would love to go to Chernobyl kind of thing, just to like go there and just be like, it's about like the history and stuff about that place. So it's basically what it is. So you go to like graveyards and you just look at everybody's story. You just read their tombstone and just like you wonder what they went through and things like that. Anyways, so I love going to graveyards and things like this. So I'm really curious to see how close this is to, you know, the real feeling. How creepy can this possibly be? But I do know half of the creepiness of being in a graveyard isn't so much being creepy as being in a graveyard. It's more of like, it's like, shh, get down low, caretaker's over there. He's driving by, don't let him see you. But let's check it out. Alright. Here I am. It's a very pixelated moon. Oh, that's a cool little light, though. The lighting. Well, this one actually reminds me of the oldest graveyard in my city. That's what this one reminds me of, the style of it. Am I supposed to go into that orange thing? Because I don't really know if I really want to do that. Because that orange thing is like this blue light over there that's shining down on that statue. Do those things have significances? Or is that a car? Oh God, don't turn like that, please. Oh, it's a wagon. Well, part of me is an idiot for coming here alone, so whatever happens to me, I pretty much deserve it. I'll put that out there right now. Obviously, I'm not gonna get the, oh, that's cool, the detail of the skull. Normally they would just be like black or just like a really crappy PNG image or something, but that's a really cool skull. Nice detail, I like that. Step 2, it sounds like there's a storm coming. I wouldn't be out here. Another blue light I could go into if I would wish, I guess. Part of me gets sad in real life when I see things like that, which I'm pointing at the statue falling over, is some of it's, I guess even if it's nature, but like people that go to the graveyards and just destroy them, it's just pathetic. And it's difficult for people to fix. Yeah, that's not creepy at all. There's just, yeah, who's this grave belong to? Actually, I don't want to know. Please don't answer me on that. But people like will destroy. Kids will just go and destroy it, and it's like you guys they just don't understand. It would take me like a whole video to describe my meanings behind things I see when it comes to things like that. But it's kind of more passionate about these. What are these doing here, man? These should be in the ground. Like somebody's been lazy. They're not keeping up with the graveyard, and they're not burying the dead people. And they're still using wagons. I'm pretty sure I'm not in the time I think I am. This doesn't look very locked to me. Alright, I guess I'm just going to go towards the lights. Actually, I'm going to walk in here first. Oh, this is going to be a bad idea. Oh, fuck. Oh. Okay, I can't. Sometimes games save you for making stupid decisions. By the way, going back to what I was talking about, tombstones, heavy as shit. If you ever go to a graveyard, if you're like me and you're like, you just see it and it's like disrespectful, as if you feel disrespectful, so you're like, I'm gonna try to help it, fix it. Don't do it by yourself. You can go up to it and like attempt, but just don't fully try. 2 things. Oh, I got goosebumps like a motherfucker. I was gonna say something about the wind. Who is that? Dude, what the fuck? There's no sound. Dude. Where the fuck is that coming from? It's just like everywhere. There is no like direct of where that sound's coming from. That is creepy as shit, and I don't like that. Cut that shit out right now. It's like stays with your right ear. I gotta wipe off my lens. It's the problem with my room. When my AC's not like preset, it just gets muggy in my room. I will admit though, the atmosphere isn't that creepy. Oh, god, mouse. The atmosphere isn't too creepy, like when you're just sitting here. The noises aren't too creepy and stuff like that. But like footsteps like that, that's not cool. But the wind looks really cool when it was pushing the trees around, which it's not doing anymore. I'm just gonna go to this light. That light did absolutely nothing. I am fucked. There is no sanctuary for me. I just gotta stay here as long as I can handle the creepiness, I guess. What if I stand in a light? You got a skull too. I don't know if I like you looking down on me like that. Those bushes outside the gates, like that little one right there and the one right there by the post outside, they look like figures. I hear footsteps again. I hear like metal. It's like a metal cart, but it's... I'm not saying it's a bad thing that the noises don't line up to any specific location, because every time you turn your head, they're like always to your right or always in front of you. Like the footsteps would be to your right until you look that way, then they would be in front of you, and then it would slowly like keep going to your right and stuff like that, so it sounded like it was moving, which is kind of what it's doing right now. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because that really adds to the creepiness. It sounds like things are like walking right through. Like, right now it's right in front of me. Sounds like metal. I don't know if there's jump scares in this game. Yep. It's right there in front of me. And I don't like keeping my eyes locked into one spot. You always got to be on the lookout. Alright, yeah, it's staying right in front of me now. I'm really scared I'm going to turn around and get jump scared. It didn't say there was jump scares, it just says it gets creepier. Alright, now the sound's over there. More. See, like, the sounds do move, that's good. Actually, I can't tell. I don't think they're pinned to just right or left. Because if they were just like, I'm not going to say it's laziness, but when like sounds aren't like locked into a certain location to where like it'll just stay in your ears, normally that's annoying as hell. But in a situation like this, whether it was purposeful or not, it adds to the creepiness a lot. What'd that come from? Green smoke. Alright, it's not creepy anymore because it's just a constant noise. It just sounds like a wagon. Like now it's like coming from like right here. It sounds like one of those wagons rolling, but with like metal on it, or like rain. It kind of sounds like rain on like a aluminum roof, kind of. But yeah, it just sounds like a wagon. Actually, the sounds. Maybe the sounds are just locked to this middle trail because that's where people would walk through it. Up. Nope. Now it's over here. Okay, yeah, I can hear it in my left ear, so it's not locked, which is good, which just tells me the audio is moving. Now, is it walking around the graveyard, or is it walking around the outside of the graveyard? Because if there's ghosts up in here... Now you're already... You like jumped from over there to like there, and now it's like over there? Yeah, those bushes right there. I don't like those bushes. Who allowed me to get locked in? What this game needs, truthfully, is... I wouldn't say an objective, but it would be cool to have like an objective. Like... but it doesn't have to be anything major. It would just be like... Each tombstone would have like a different name and a different story. God, I hate that turn button. I was on the wrong key. It would like have a different button. This sounds like back right here. And this sound is lasting way too long, so it's no longer creepy. But like, you'd have to find like... You could make it easy to where it's be like, just find this person's grave and give them a name and a date or something like that. Or you could give them trivial and be like, find somebody who was 37 years old when they died, and then you'd have to go around and like figure out the dates of death and birth and death, and then you'd be like, oh, it was him, and then like have a way of selecting it. And it's just like a trivial thing, not so much like getting a... You wouldn't get a reward or anything. That would, like, it would just be little things like that. I think that would be cool to add. Just have something to do while you're walking around being creeped out. because when the creepiness does happen, you're kind of just like frozen, and you're just like, I'm gonna stand right here, put my back against the wall, and hope nobody, like, that way nobody can sneak up behind me. That noise stopped finally, so I'm assuming I'm in between creepiness. That is creepy. You know, to be fair, a lot of the things, I think I came up with the not solution, but I came up with an idea kind of thing, that I talk to a lot of inanimate objects. I do. And say, like, it's stupid, but say I, like, throw something, and just out of anger, I'll be like, God, now I feel bad. Like, it makes no sense. But I think the reason I do that is because growing up, I grew up with things like Toy Story and things like that, which gave life to inanimate objects. Like, Beauty and the Beast had teapots. Like, just a lot of inanimate objects. There was one movie, I cannot think of the name, but I wish I could. But it had a vacuum that went on an adventure, or something like that. I wish I could remember that, because that was just, I can't remember the title. I've been trying to think for a while now. And, but it just, there was a whole bunch of cartoons giving inanimate objects life. So it's just like, it's not so much doubt as it is just like, oh, what if I throw this thing and it turns out to be real? Like, then we are screwed. And then you got things like Chucky, which were the whole, like, oh, they're lifelike, but they'll kill ya, which is like, ah, shit. But, so I think growing up with that in mind, it's giving me a thing, just like, you know, just in case it is real, it might have feelings. I shouldn't throw it around and be all like this to it, because you never know, it could kill you in your sleep. You don't know what's going on when you're sleeping. You're asleep. So, anyways, when I see gargoyles and things like this, I know there's plenty of movies where you people, things, like to come to life and kill people. Stupid people, particularly, like me, who decide to go to a graveyard at night. By my lonesome. Yes, I did admit I like going to graveyards and places like this, especially at night, and just emptiness, just to be alone. But I don't do it actually alone. I do it with my friends who feel the exact same way. At least one friend who feels the exact same way with me. Like, we've spent years together being friends, so we like understand how each other's brain works pretty much. So we're like the exact same. We're on the exact same level when it comes to things like this. So we think the same, we act the same, we just feel the same, more or less, when it comes to things like this. So it's like, I go there, I can be alone without actually being alone. That way if shit hits the fan, or something happens, I have him and I'm not just going to die and nobody's going to know where I went. And then if we both die, at least I'm taking him with me. Nothing's creepy has really happened. I don't know if I was supposed to make it this long. The footsteps were terrifying. I will admit, that was legitly creepy. I don't like footsteps to things I can't see, and I don't like knocking on, like, wood. I don't like either one of those two sounds. Those are, like, the worst sounds I can hear in a horror movie. I prefer to hear a baby crying or laughing over those things, and that's saying something. Now I'm scared because everything just went quiet. There's no chirping. There's nothing. It is completely silent. There's no game volume right now. I'm scared of a jump scare, which I doubt exists, but I don't want to test it. I think I may have just, like, beaten the game to an extent. Don't know if I'm hearing something or if it's just my headset kind of crackling. There's like a bump bump going in between my ears. But there's no crickets or any sound effects right now. I think I've finished the audio loops. Wait, I can run? Of course I can run. Why wouldn't I be able to run? Yeah, I guess that was it. But to be fair, this was really nice. I like this. Like, it did have its creepiness to it, which it's not the same creepiness as when you're actually in one. Obviously, you're not going to capture it perfectly, but like, those footsteps definitely will creep you the hell out if you get creeped out. I'm gonna say pretty easily because I know I do, but like, it gave you that horror game vibe while it was happening, because like, you hear it and all of a sudden your brain's just like, jump scare, dude, jump scare, don't look around, but at the same time you're like, I have to look around to see if it's coming up behind me, so you're just like, I'm gonna get jump scared, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and you're just like, especially because like I said, it moves, so you're just like, dude, I want to get away from that noise, I don't want to be seen, I don't want it to just exist at all whatsoever. So it did give you that really creepy feeling, but like, I don't know. I couldn't really tell you exactly what was missing from the feel. I haven't been to a graveyard in a while. I don't know. It's just, I think one part about going to a graveyard that you wouldn't be able to capture is when you go there, and I'm going to say it right now, I believe in ghosts. Things happened to me when I was a kid, found out later it was too much to be a coincidence. So, I believe in ghosts, and it's like I used to purposely go to graveyards. Thought I heard a noise. I used to purposely go to graveyards to try to experience things. Not necessarily visual. I'm not about the visual stuff, because I have had a lot of things visually. I've had, like, when I was a kid, it was visual things, like shadows moving now. Well, like, just, there was things that happened to me as a kid that made me believe. And as I grew older and stuff, the way I am emotionally and the way I connect with things, people, it was more of like an emotional thing, to where just like, it's kind of like sensing. And I know that'll sound like crap to a lot of people, whatever. But when you're here and you're actually like, because I try to help people, living or dead, it doesn't matter. I've always tried to help people, and I've always tried to do my best to help. So a lot of times I've experienced different, like, I'll say there's mainly two different types of senses when you come across like a spirit like this. And I'm not the only one that felt it. I've had friends the friends that I go places like this with, they felt the exact same thing. And the main two things that you would feel, especially in a graveyard, because like I go to the graveyard and just be like, I try to visit those. Maybe there's spirits that are here and they just feel lonely because it's been years since like they died in 1800, so even their family doesn't really even remember who they were. So they're, and like the family member that would visit them is also dead. So it's like, it's just a long chain of people not coming to visit. So it's just kind of like a psychologically, I'm just fucking weird. I said that weird too. Psychologically, I'm just weird. But when you go there, you kind of just like, in your head, you know you just sense things being there. So obviously you're not going to be able to implement that in a game. But what I was saying is there's two main things that you will sense normally, at least that I've experienced. One is the normal, like, you just feel like an anger, like there's a presence around you that you're just like, I don't really want to be here anymore. Something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't, like, it feels like something doesn't want me here. I probably shouldn't be here. And it's just like, overall, in your head, you're just like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, it's not so much I'm scared and I want to leave. You're just like, I genuinely just don't want to be here. Like, it's just like, it's weird because it's kind of out of fear, but at the same time, it's not. It's really hard to explain. The other one is a sense of depression. And that is the strangest feeling I have, like, one of the strangest feelings I've ever had. It's like, I remember one time I went to this abandoned building. We didn't go inside because it was the middle of the day. We weren't going to bother with it, getting caught and stuff. And it was three of us, so we just kind of like we were out skating. So we ended up, like, we happened just to go there and look around for skate spots. And while we were there, we were talking about the building and just thinking about the stuff that had gone on there, the history that I was talking about. And all of a sudden, just like all of three of us just started feeling really just stupid, depressed, and none of us were sad. Let that sink in. Depression without sadness. Like, it's just like, what? You're in your head, you're just thinking normal thoughts. You're just like, I think I could skate this, blah blah blah. But it's like your heart hurts. It like you're mentally, you're perfectly fine, nothing's going on, but it's like you're heartbroken. It's just, there's a sadness, and you're just like, it's kind of like like anybody who's ever had like suicidal depression, which is just beyond just shitty. You would feel extremely just sad, and your brain would be right there with you. But this kind of depression is straight heart. Like, like I said, your brain is just normal. Like, I could go for some pizza right now, and in your heart you're just like, oh dude, I am fucking depressed, and I have no clue why. And this was all three of us. It wasn't just me, and it wasn't just my friends. All three of us were just like, oh my god, like something terrible had to have happened here. And it's just, we were all just like, I don't want to be here anymore. This is just like depressing. Like, it was kind of like watching something depressing happen, but again, without the thoughts. Like, it was all just body depression, and that was the weirdest feeling anyways. So those are like the two main ones that I can tell you straight off of being in a graveyard, trying to sense things like that. Obviously, there's like, it would be another, if you wanted to add another aspect to this game, it would be like, every once in a while have like, while you're, like, say you added in some kind of just little trivia or just little objective, just to keep your mind busy while you're trying to be creepy, because just having creepy sounds, it would either have to just be, it'd have to be fairly constant, obviously. It would have to pick up the pace as you go. It would have to get creepier as you go. And that's pretty much at least those two things. And it seemed like at first you had to wait a little bit for the first thing to happen, and then you had to wait the same amount of time basically before it would happen again. And what I was, it's probably nothing, but it looks like the trees would stand still, and then once they would start to blow is when the creepiness would kind of happen. But then again, those ones are blowing, and these ones don't seem to be. So I don't know. They're probably just whatever, randomly blowing. Just like a hooker, sorry. But like having just a little bonus thing to like focus on while you're doing it would be really nice. And on top of that, like, say while you're doing it, you have to make sure you don't get caught. Like, have somebody walk around the outside with like a flashlight and like just like a, I don't know, 10-yard, 20-yard range of just like one little line of sight. Then you'd have to like be able to like crouch and just like hide behind a wall or something like that. Just that. Oh god, I went into that spaceship mode. Oh, that's trippy. Well, now you know what this... Is that what I'm staring at, just mirrored? It is. Because there's the orange light and there's the orange... That's strange. I don't remember what I hit. The buttons kind of... My fingers came off track. Shiza. Alright, I'm cool. I'm cool. What was that button? I think it's C or X. But yeah. So, something like that would just make this demo a little more cooler. Because you can actually turn this, I could see this turning into an actual game. Just like, obviously, eventually, like, if you added more things, you could make it bigger and stuff. So I could see a lot of potential for something like this. So, I know I went off randomly a lot, that kind of went off game and stuff like that, so I apologize about that. But for this actual demo, I thought it was pretty cool. I like it. I like... It does have this creepiness as Graveyard feels, but it's also not one that I've experienced. Like, I haven't really been to a graveyard with wooden stuff hitting around, coffins still chilling out. So it kind of feels like a graveyard of a different time. Obviously, everything's still wooden. You wouldn't see that anymore. It looks like it was drawn by a horse, and that's a wooden wheelbarrow with, like, a wooden wheel. I've never seen one of those, except for, like, garden decorations. And it looks like there was some kind of flood or something, I don't know, that brought these things up. And if you guys stuck around to the end, I appreciate it. Thank you guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed. If you'd like to check out more of my Oculus Rifts, there'll be a link at the end of the video. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I said it, but I talk a lot. Sorry. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.